Guardian, and any other ones that we can get our hands upon. And this morning I'd like to let our listener know that you can call in at the half hour mark. We'd like to hear what you 997970903 minimum wage. They admonished organized labor to consider the broader economic implications of its push for an unrealistic higher inflation, hinted that the two on the Punch newspaper today. And now with CC, World Bank begins 4 weeks after the federal government approved a special purpose vehicle to support the delivery of an additional 90,000 kilometer of fiber optic cable. It has begun talks with and the digital economy. Disclosed this on Tuesday while announcing the kick-off of Nigeria Week in Washington. Young students for Ukrainian war. Russia denies recruiting Nigerian students for Ukrainian war. Still on the Punch newspaper, hashtag end hunger protesters seek end to economic hardship. Hashtag end hunger protesters seek end to economic hardship. Protesters on Wednesday stormed Abuja as the country marks the immediate past president Mahtari Junta. You find the story on the Punch newspaper. We'll also see sexual harassment. HOS suspends PEMSEX, and Ibrahim Namua has been suspended by the head of service, Folashade Yemieson, said the permanent secretary will be on suspension pending the outcome of a probe into the allegation against him. And still on the Punch, Democracy Day, Nigeria's unity cannot be traded. President Tinubu, Nigeria's unity cannot be traded. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has emphasized that the unity of Nigeria cannot be traded. To bring Nigeria back to its glory of harvesting, he described Nigeria's diversity as unending and stated that it is the best path to paper. Now on Leadership newspaper, Anya wants new constitution. Defense chief restates military's loyalty to constitution. President, it says here that Chief of Defense Staff CDS General Christopher Musa has reaffirmed the armed forces of Nigeria's commitment and loyalty to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the President and Commander-in-Chief. He stated this in a goodwill message to commemorate Democracy Day on June 12. Remains dedicated to supporting and shall continue to collaborate. You'll find that on Leadership newspaper today. Now we see here as well that Democracy Day, states observe low-key celebration. States observe low-key celebration. Also Democracy Day, Nigeria needs compassionate leaders. Nigeria Conservative Congress says not angry PDP. Edo NNPP elders overrule Guba candidate suspension. NNPP elders overrule Guba candidate sacrifice for Agbakoba turn of democratic of the Nigerian. Although the gains of cultural displays highlights Democracy Day celebration, it comes with a rider that says President democracy was falling asleep. Third rider says Nigerian state protest in Lagos. Third rider says Nigerian state protest in Lagos, Abuja. Today's Democracy Day ceremony, guards of honor, when a clumsy sentinel's fall at the parade ground made light humor of the incident where he missed steps while making his way into paper with the headline Tinubu's Dobale Liberation. And now we'd also see on this day, task politicians address NLC to Tinubu. No deal with federal government on 62,000 naira minimum wage offer. No offer. Still on this day, we see as well that June 12 Democracy Day, Leaders salute Nigeria's 25 years unbroken democratic experience. Leaders salute Nigeria. Leaders and groups from across the country have continued to send messages of goodwill to celebrate Nigeria's 25 years of uninterrupted democracy as the nation commemorated Democracy Day yesterday. From words of commendation to caution and outright rebuke, it was a ceremony well marked in capital cities across the state and the Federal Capital Territory, FCT. The 2 decades and a half democratic experience since the inception of the Fourth Republic in 1999 followed a check politics. You find that on this day newspaper. Now, Daily Post, the cover page reads, concerns over unresolved corruption probes in Nigeria, millions spent without convictions. Concerns over unresolved corruptions. President misinformed you. Outrage in Saudi for Hajj. Members travel to Saudi for Hajj. And lastly, we see in politics that ex-APC NWC member Lukman resigns from from the party. Ex-APC NWC member Lukman resigns from party. And these are the stories on Daily Post today. Nigerian Tribune, the cover page reads, minimum wage, our demand still remains 250,000 naira. NLC reacts to Tinubu's Democracy Day broadcast. Our demand still remains 250,000 naira. NLC reacts to Tinubu's Democracy Day broadcast. You find the story on Nigerian Tribune today. And also, we planned to pay Godwin Obaseki of Edo State on Wednesday disclosed that his administration planned to pay 70,000 naira minimum wage 3 years ago. Democracy Day. Tinubu not Superman. He's human like us. Presidency. Tinubu not Superman. He is human like us. Presidency. Don't demand what will undermine economy. Federal government tells Labour. Do not demand what will undermine. Over 200 aviation professionals to grace 28th LAAC conference. We'll see the stories on non-Bora students. Youth on Democracy Day. You find that we will, says President, government in current democracy that society 6 councils in agriculture. Ajala subsidized by 50%. Abdul Salami at the family of the founder of the omission of their late patriarch from the list of Bola Ahmed being honored. In a statement in Lagos by the late OPC founder's son, Mr. Remy Fashion, the family described the omission of Dr. Fashion on the list puppies materials cash. Move on to Daily Trust newspaper today. It says here on the cover page, no agreement faulted President Bola Tinubu's claims that an agreement has been reached on a new national minimum wage. And also in regards to minimum wage, it says that only 5.3 million workers will benefit from new minimum wage. Over 1.5 million pilgrims arrive in Saudi Arabia as Hajj rites begin tomorrow. Over 1.5 million pilgrims arrive in Saudi Arabia as Hajj rites begin tomorrow. Trust TV's cameraman attacked at Lagos, Abuja, and Benin. Tinubu breaks silence on Eagle Square 4, says social media is confused. Tinubu breaks silence on Eagle Square 4, says social media is confused. We see as well some governors using criminals to rig elections, says Jonathan. And lastly, Salah Dobar Bayero writes CP requests special security. Bayero writes CP requests special security. At the Reach Democracy Day yesterday, a host of eminent Nigerians and groups preferred solutions to the country's raging socio-economic challenges as protests broke out in Lagos, Abuja, Kaduna, and Osun. Labour rejects Tinubu's claims of agreement and on minimum wage. We see here that Lukman says APC can no longer win elections without rigging. Lukman says APC can no longer win elections. Who poll pledge good paper. 9 protests that heralded the June 12 commemoration and the hard stance of the labor unions on minimum wage. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu yesterday and he made this known during the state banquet dinner at the Presidential Villa Abuja to mark this year's Democracy Day. And the story of a protest rock June 12 commemorates school agitation. Group defies can't be silent amid ban on Guardian newspaper today. Guardian newspaper also has a story, says FG unfolds revised national policy on food safety. FG unfolds revised national policy on food safety. World Bank orders to streamline. Lastly, so this morning, hopefully with time, we'll be able to review most of the stories, if not all of it. But in the meantime, hear what you have to say. Let's hear what your thoughts are on the stories we will be looking at this morning. The number is 0903 2229 797 0903 2229 797 or 0818 2222205 0818 Yes, many thanks for staying tuned and welcome back to the newspaper review right here on Citizen 93.7 FM. It's time to review the Democracy Day, Nigeria's relating to the Democracy Day. And also on this day newspaper, Tinubu's Dobale military parade cultural displays highlights Democracy Day's celebration. And also in the same vein, Nigeria's unity cannot be traded. With your support, I won't fall. Tinubu. You'd find the story on the Guardian newspaper. And with all of that being, looked at, there are similar stories relating into one. I'd like to call on our in-house analyst to please shed light on this story.
Good morning, Super Citizen listeners, and yesterday. Yes, we need to strengthen our bond, and we also need to appreciate the diversity, our unity in diversity, which is the strength of this country. We can latch on this or leverage on it gladding perspective of what the naysayers have been saying. We must not take a democracy that we are enjoying and the freedom of speech, and all many Nigerians pay the supreme price. Chief M.K. Abiola was killed. So many others, apart from those who were lucky to have escaped with their life, will never be the same since that June 12 debacle. And we have been saying it, that there is the need for the non-state actors to know that even though we have problems, even though we have challenges, but we have made progress too, and we should not take this for granted. And again, there is the need for this country. Nigeria, no doubt, is a great country. Yes, in togetherness, we are one, and we can make this country a better place for all of us. The idea of celebrating happened yesterday. Is it not funny to even inform? Do you see what happened at the Eagle Square? He said the president fell down. I said, you are silly, with due respect. Of all that happened, he's a senior journalist. Unless we own over a president as he might, he has not only been sworn in, he's celebrating a year in office. And I want to believe that there's a room for everybody in this country. Let us just do not talk ill of this country. Obama slipped, if you will remember. Joe Biden slipped. Just 2 weeks ago, something happened in the U.S. of the present president. It is true it happened. It's called patriotism. Let us cannot help us, despite the fact that all these things are happening in America. Nigerians, quite some many Nigerians, especially youth, they still feel that Japa is the answer. It is not. It can never be. The so-called America you are Japa into was made by some people, was built by some people. They labored for it. They said, let's change our attitude and make this country a paradise, actualize our potentials. Nigeria is a great country. God bless this country.
Amen. God bless Nigeria. And also talking about Nigeria, June 12, it says here that Obi Anyaoku, Uwanchukwu, others want retired Dr. Obiageli Ezekwesili and Mr. Peter Obi have stressed the urgent need for a new constitution for Nigeria to occur. This prominent personalities who spoke as a securing the future of Nigeria through a new democratic people's constitution. They noted that the Nigerian project is not working because the country operates a constitution that does not suit its numerous challenges. Mr. Salamisa.
I beg to discuss. There is a need to tinker with the constitution, but I still believe that the sole problem is not the constitution. The constitution will be operated by who? Angels. It is more, the fault is not in our stars. The fault is in ourselves for being an underling. Quite agree that there are some sections of the constitution that needs tinkering with. Yes, I do agree with that. But to now say that the problem with Nigeria is the constitution, it is not so. Don't let us live leprosy and be treating ringworm. Let us face our problems squarely. The problem with Nigeria is Nigerians. Essentially, we Nigerians are the problem with Nigeria. And in any case, is there any country called Nigeria without Nigerians? The problem is with we Nigerians. The leadership and the followers say it, that unless we change our mindset, unless we change our attitude, unless we change our ways of doing things or to doing things, we still be in the woods. And it is just possible. It is yet, but it's making progress. Look at Norway, look at other countries. The leaders are at heart. So also the followers. Of course I agree that there is the need for compassionate and visionary leadership. But then, the followership too matter. It does. We need to change our attitude and our perception of this country. The day we decide that we want to make this country work, it will work. And it is not the job of our leaders. All of us have, till then, we just be running commentary. I've been saying it that the fault is not in our stars. The fault, rather, is in ourselves, that we are undone. Let us have a positive mindset. Let us change our ways of thinking. Let us change our ways of doing things. And of course, the sky is not the limit. The limit is beyond the sky.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Salami, for that vein. We see here that Nigeria yet to attain democracy, we sacrifice for Agbakoba Ose Kume. You find the story on Leadership newspaper today, where it says that Nigeria yet to attain democracy, we sacrifice for Agbakoba Ose Kume. What do you have to say in regards to this, sir?
Good. It is true that Nigeria has not attained democracy. We thank God that some of us are alive. These were the guys, young ladies. We know ourselves. We know all that happened. Thank God that Honorable Durumi Seko was here yesterday. So, those who really fought for democracy and the angers on, we know the fight for. Clearly and resoundingly, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who was one or is one of those who fought for democracy. We know those who went to MK Abiola's house as fighters for democracy. We all know the role they played. At the appropriate time, we will write history. We will not allow them to reinvent themselves, neither will we allow them to rewrite history. Yes, quite many people, heroes and heroines of democracy, we know them, the genuine ones. And those who are just cashing on June 12th, we know the Nadeko, and we know the Emirats. In the afternoon, we know what they did. In the night, we know also what they did. That is why I've been saying it, that those who have things inspired should not keep silent. We should appreciate them. Thank God that the National Association of Political Correspondents, good visionary leadership of Emeka Nwosu, who was dead in Daily Times. We know one of active in political reporting. We know what happened while we were reporting about the goings on in NRC, National Republican Convention, and SDP, Social Democratic Party. We all are fight, and what he didn't do. Journalists should report factually and should not allow the saying that it should be regulated. Armchair journalism should not be allowed, even though they are trying to promote citizen journalism. What it means, let's be patriotic. Let us know that we do not have any other country except Nigeria. Nigeria is the only country we have. Let's make it great.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Salami, for that, Nigeria is definitely going to become a great country. Everyone is waiting to hear the end of. It says the NLC said Tinubu no deal with federal government on 62,000 minimum wage offer. You find that on this day newspaper, and also on the Punch newspaper. FG warns of mass sacking as Labour 250,000 naira. NLC reacts to Tinubu's Democracy Day broadcast. Mr. Lamisa, what is your take on the story?
Well, my take remains the same. The NLC, federal government, and the organized private sector are saying that they are ready to pay. Said that he will pay 70,000, but and where do we go from here? The federal government is saying that what the labor is asking for is not only unsustainable, but quote and unquote unrealistic. And of course we know that even some states up till tomorrow have not paid the 30,000 wage. We are not talking of maximum. In fact, they are just semantics. No amount of money can be enough. But even like that, let's start from somewhere in such a way that at least the poorest of doing this, let us take into consideration the poor masses, the economy, the sustainability, and the interest of this country. These are the issues that we should factor into the negotiation. And the labor says no, unless it is 250,000. Let us avoid the unintended consequence of our actions and inactions. Put Nigeria first. That is my plea to both the government and the team. On the people, the truth must be told. Cease strike, and endless strike is not the answer. And ego on the part of the government, draw negotiation, meet again and again, have a robust conversation around all the issues, and in the name of all that is good, agree on what will be in the best interest and for the best interest of the poor man.
Is with the headline, Defense Chief restates military's loyalty to Constitution. President, Defense Chief restates military's loyalty to Constitution.
Why? I know General Chris Musa very well. I won't deny that. Made patriot. As a general, is a gallant officer, and has the interest of Nigeria at heart. Having someone like that who is military, we should not take it for granted. I wouldn't know if you watched him yesterday, amongst others, at the China's security summit. He was there. He spoke his mind about democracy and good governance. He also spoke his mind about the need for all Nigerians to own the security battle. The military and indeed the security to make things work and things easy for them. Let us be patriotic. I know and I agree that you hand patriotism and you don't demand patriotism. Even at that, we still have a lot to do as Nigerians. Yes, we should know that it is a great country.
Today's review, as we are a little bit out of time, here's a story, or better still, in honor of to Bago Salute at Abdusalami at 82. That's Niger State Governor Muhammad Umar Bago has congratulated former head of state General Abdusalami Abubakar on his 82nd birthday. Mr. Salami, sir.
Well, I want to believe that His Excellency Governor Muhammadu Umaru Bago, the governor of Niger State, is congratulated. He needs to be congratulated. He's a statesman par excellence. Here is a man who did what others could not do in 8 years in just 1 year. General Absalami Abubakar, in 1 year, it's not even up to 1 year. By the time it was 8 or 9 months, he had concluded it. He spent just 1 year. And we know those who spent 8 years only for them to annul election. The freest, the most credible, and the fairest election ever held in this country was annulled by them. And they are still parading the streets today. Critical when there is the need a good man. In the real sense and in the broader sense of the word. Happy birthday, Baba. May God continue to be with you. May God spare your life. You are a patriot.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Salami. Happy birthday to General Abdulsalami Abubakar. Now, we'll have to call it a day here on Citizen 93.6. Now, we do encourage our listeners to please call in and let us know what it is that you think of the stories that we are reviewing. Until then, do have a wonderful, wonderful day.